I'm outside. And I just wanted to film something that I'm thinking about and wonder what I can make of it for a video. So I was thinking about how in fourth grade I accidentally caused a scandal because I had gotten injured at a swimming pool. I jumped in too hard into a too shallow area and I sprained my ankle. It hurt so much. And I was having immense difficulty like getting around. Like I really could not walk on my own at first. And friends of mine who were there, they were like, "Oh, well, we still have some crutches from when one of our kids hurt their leg or broke their leg or whatever." Okay, they were the wrong size though, so they were hurting my armpits a lot. And probably even if they are the right size, they may still like, you get kind of sore and like tired of doing that. Anyway, so I had been using them and I was allowed to use them at school, and somebody else was like carrying my books for me and whatever. And so I was just using the crutches, and I'd been using them for 2 weeks, okay? If you've ever had a sprain, you know that eventually it will heal. So because I had been keeping the weight off of it and everything, it was healing pretty well after 2 weeks. And I also at the same time had like this massive, like, if it was a cold, it was like the gargantuan of all colds. It was like the king of all colds. I don't know. It may have been a sinus infection. And I was just like, I needed tissues constantly, and we were not allowed to keep a box of tissues on our desk, which is ridiculous. That is cruel. Kids in schools should definitely be allowed to have access to Kleenex and trash can whenever they need it. You should not have to ask every time you need to get up, because like they also force kids to go to school while they're still sick. So anyway, I was getting up like constantly to get tissues. Had to pick up the crutches every time. And then add in another layer of distraction, processing, stuff to think about. We were having a quiz or a test. If it was a quiz, it was like a big quiz. It was like hefty. And I had been working on my quiz. I desperately needed to blow my nose. I wasn't even thinking about it. I just subconsciously stood up and walked over to get a tissue. As I was blowing my nose, I realized, wait, something feels wrong here. Sorry about that light leak. So I realized, like, something feels wrong here. Other kids in the class also noticed. They were like, and they all would not, like, they were like, she never needed crutches. She was faking, which I was not faking. I had just gotten well over the course of several weeks. And instead of taking that moment for the teacher to corral the attention of the class and be like, listen, she's had a hurt ankle for 2 weeks. She's starting to feel better. That's good. She still needs help so that her ankle will continue to get better. No, the teacher joined them. She joined them, and basically they all just didn't believe that I had ever been hurt, and it was horrible. It was absolutely so, like, I felt so much shame, and yet I really did need help, and I still needed help. Like, I still needed to keep off of that foot. It was just like a momentary, it felt better, and then it started hurting again because I had walked on it. You see where I'm coming from? If you've ever had like a hurt foot or ankle or leg or whatever, you'll know what I mean. Like, eventually it starts to feel better, but then you walk on it a little bit and it's like, okay. But they made me start carrying my own books again, and my ankle got re-injured. And then for like the next 10 or 15 years, I had pain And like, okay, so I'm telling this story because do I think that teacher was literally evil? Probably not. People have a tendency to go along with sensations, unfortunately, rather than figuring out their integrity, speaking and acting from compassion, and helping people who need it. And a lot of people seem to have a tendency to not believe someone if what's going on doesn't line up with their own expectation. But your expectation about what's right for somebody else doesn't matter in the face of them saying, no, actually, that's not right for me. And in order for us to not gaslight each other, take each other seriously, treat each other with compassion and love, and as good people, we have to believe what's going on, what the other person says that they need. And so, I really, I have a hard time with what happened that day because there were long-term damaging effects, like long-lasting effects from that. Being that the class, I was already having difficulty with them because of prior issues, which I may talk about at some point. Keep noticing my lips are super chapped. I'm gonna have to tend to that when I go in, but it's cold outside and it's dry, and yeah. So someday I may talk about the other stuff, but that occurrence, that really cemented in that my classmates were not willing to be friends with me. And I was incredibly lonely and isolated for all of grade school and middle school because I went to a K through 8. It was a horrible place to go to school. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Anyway, trying to stick to one topic, which is that I think that there needs to be better advocacy for kids, and advocacy needs to be modeled by either like a peer, like a paraprofessional support, or and modeled by teachers and administrators. Advocacy for students needs to be modeled so that students can learn to advocate for themselves. I want to say very few are learning that at home, and probably more now than before, like more than when I was a kid, but still, like, within the past couple years, and I can't give any like personal details about the kids, obviously, but an issue that I've noticed multiple times is that they are petrified to advocate for themselves, like literally scared to speak up for themselves to their teacher, or like ask questions, or even talk to their parents about it and say, hey, this is what's going on at school with this teacher or whatever. And that's not right. Kids should not be afraid to talk to their teachers, but they are. So, and like a lot of parents may think, oh, well, my kid would tell me if something bad was going on, or I would just know. I don't think you would necessarily. So that's why I think like changes need to be made. I would welcome comments on this video about what changes you think, or how we could accomplish, like, my thought comes from that Rich Dad Poor Dad book of like, how can we accomplish this? How can we accomplish that students are treated in non-neglectful, humane ways? Being able to get a Kleenex whenever they need to, being able to go to the bathroom more than one time per day. Ridiculous. Ugh. And be able to get quick intervention if there's bullying and intimidation going on in the classroom, because the videos that they show on bullying in classes, at least when I was a kid, it was like, if you're getting punched, you're getting bullied. Bullying is not limited to outright punching, and punching is usually pretty visible to teachers. Sometimes things sneak in under the radar, and that's not good. And that it's important to curb physical violence as well, of course, but there are so many kinds of bullying that are based in intimidation and are psychologically damaging and really need to be put a stop to, and kids don't know to speak up for themselves about it. And just telling them, oh, speak up for yourself if you're getting intimidated, like, that's not gonna help. Just getting told what to do, kids are always getting told what to do. They have way too much going on up here to process all of that. So anyway, I just wanted to share that, and please like and subscribe, and leave your comments about what positive actions can be taken to improve kids being treated well and taken good care of by the school system.